Now at 6, details about the city of Pittsburgh's plans for a new addiction treatment center, plus how the city of Miami is showing how to prevent fires, and Carthage celebrates the completion of a new parking lot renovation.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Craig County, Oklahoma man is dead after a crash this morning. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Jordan Nobby. Authorities say 60-year-old Stephen King of Welch was driving his golf cart out of a private driveway waiting for traffic to clear. When he drove forward, he hit the side of another car, which made him fall out of the golf cart and get hit by a trailer attached to that car. Authorities pronounced King dead at the scene. The driver of the second car was not harmed. Police in Oklahoma today say they found 2 more victims who were wounded in a shooting at Oklahoma high school football homecoming game. Police initially said one 17-year-old died and another 17-year-old was wounded in the shooting Friday at McLean High School for Science and Technology in Tulsa. But authorities now say that 2 more victims were treated for gunshot wounds, a 20-year-old woman and a 9-year-old girl. Both were treated for their injuries, released from the hospital later. Police said the shooter ran away after opening fire during the football game between McLean and Miami High School. No arrests have yet been made. A Missouri man took a plea deal for the murders of 2 cattle ranchers. Garland Joey Nelson pleaded guilty, admitting in July of 2019 he had a business dispute with brothers Nicholas and Justin Dimel. Brothers were in town from Wisconsin to collect a $250,000 debt that stemmed from a cattle deal when they went missing. And Nelson admitted that he shot and killed the 24 and 35-year-old at his mother's farm, then burned their bodies. He was sentenced to 2 life terms in prison without parole. Sam Lane joining us now. First look at the forecast. No complaints temperature-wise anyway, right?
That's right. Not complaining about the temperatures, but we're concerned and complaining about the dryness. In fact, we had a grass fire earlier this evening, just a few moments ago, in the Loma Linda area, even showing up on our tower cam. Might see a little bit of a hazy sunset tonight as a result of that. And as I mentioned, it's going to become a concern because look at the drought. The drought continues for most of Kansas, Oklahoma, including our area. And we're going to zoom in. You can see that we're in the exceptional category from southwest Missouri, southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, surrounded by extreme. This map is going to be updated tomorrow, so wouldn't be surprised to see the expansion of the drought area even further to the east. And the winds right now, fortunately, are not that strong, so that's keeping the fire danger at least somewhat in check. But if the winds start to increase, we're going to start having some problems with that. And of course, I'll have more details on our forecast, including a look at the weekend straight ahead.
Sam, thank you as always. The Miami Fire Department is making sure people know how to prevent fires. Today, hosted a fire prevention show at the Coleman Theater. It was a chance for residents to learn about smoke detectors, tips to prevent fires, and how to properly extinguish fires.
Can get out, if their house is burning or if they find themselves in a fire-related incident. I hope that they are able to get out safely, meet in that certain zone with their family or friends and, just be safe. Because we all know, fire is a dangerous thing.
October is also Smoke Detector Awareness Month. It's a reminder to check those batteries in your detectors to keep you and your family safe. Some parts of Carthage, Missouri, receiving beautification projects today. One of those projects is a parking lot renovation at the 6th and Main parking lot. To celebrate its completion, Vision Carthage, among other Carthage offices, held a ribbon cutting.
Is that parking is a challenge, and we actually are fortunate to have about 6 public parking lots that maybe are a well-kept secret. So we wanted to try to promote the parking lots, improve the parking lots, make people feel comfortable to park there, and so that was, kind of the idea behind this initiative.
There are 5 other parking lots still being renovated. Pittsburgh city officials hope a new addiction treatment center is going to alleviate the burden currently on police officers and hospitals. KOAM's Yana Hatala learned about the benefits of the new center that's in the works.
The new 28-bed unit addiction treatment center and a 6-bed crisis stabilization unit is a needed addition for the city of Pittsburgh.
We'll also be expanding our mobile service crisis services to be able to actually go with an officer to a home and to be more present in the community and available for services on the spot.
Currently, the closest similar unit is in Girard. The 23 to 72-hour crisis stabilization unit will be a new concept for Pittsburgh and Crawford County.
Psychiatric medication as well as case management type services and staff that will work with them getting back home and maybe back to their jobs and getting stabilized psychiatrically.
The city manager of Pittsburgh says this new center will save a great amount of time and money, as officers do not need to transport people to other communities.
If we do have somebody that needs this service and we have to transport them to another community, it's time away from Pittsburgh for our officers. We've estimated it's maybe $250,000 a year in travel time and time away, so it's a big deal.
It will also mean more officers remain on patrol in the city during their shifts.
Our chief was one of the ones that put in a little plug for the project overall because it is such a huge impact on our law enforcement.
This is going to be a good solution with law enforcement and emergency rooms to get people access, quicker access, and the right kind of care in the right moment when they need it.
In Pittsburgh, Janna Haudala, KOAM News.
Construction of the new center is going to begin in January. It should take about 10 months to complete. Coming up, why fans are wanting refunds after Garth Brooks concerts over the weekends. Plus, a Missouri teen helped a police officer after being shot. When a police officer was shot in Excelsior Springs, Missouri Saturday night, it was an unlikely hero who stepped in to help administer first aid. A teen girl, Peyton Headley, spoke with a young Good Samaritan who says her dad is actually an ICU nurse, so she was familiar with what to do in an emergency.
When I was trying to go to bed, it was all I could think about, and this morning it was all I could think about.
17-year-old Ava Donegan keeps replaying Saturday night in her head.
I had never even heard gunshots, so that was a whole new situation for me.
Donegan was in the car with her boyfriend, stopped at a red light, when they found themselves in the middle of a crime scene.
I saw the cop get out of the car, and then I saw him get shot a few times.
Her car was just in front of the shooter's truck, so they ducked and called 911.
Somehow I blinked my eye, and the cop who was shot was right in front of my car.
The officer had been shot in the shoulder and the wrist and came to her window asking for help with his tourniquet.
He told me that it was completely numb and his hand was completely limp.
Donegan says she helped put his tourniquet on, get his vest off, and use his radio to call it in.
When I realized he needed help, it all was instincts.
Even though it was scary, she says she's glad she was able to help.
I'm just glad that he is okay. And I think that gives me a good peace of mind.
Good for her. Ava says she wants to go into pre-med after high school. Meanwhile, the officer had a second surgery yesterday. Is expected to be okay. As for the suspect, though, he died from his injuries. A little bit later, we're going to check out the performance of the week from last week's Friday night football action.
And we're going to take a look at the weekend forecast, which includes some changes, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. Boy, we had a perfect weekend, and now it looks like we're starting off to a perfect work week as far as the weather goes, with light winds, bright sunshine, and warm temperatures. And it's that way down in Seneca, Missouri at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Not a cloud in the sky. May see a smoke plume or two up to the north, as we had a grass fire earlier, and that is a growing concern as we have the drought still ongoing. And temperatures right now are very pleasant, though, generally in the 70s to around 80 degrees. But this afternoon we topped out in the mid 80s out to the west. Check out Chanute, 87 degrees, 86 in Fredonia, 86 also in the Ville, 84 in Veneta, and 82 down in Grove. A little bit cooler off to the east, where they were around 80 degrees over there in Cassville. And temperatures right now have started to cool off just a little bit. We're still around 83, 84 degrees here in Joplin. This afternoon we made it up to 85. Even here in the city we started out at a chilly 48, which is of course below the normal low of 53, but we were above on the high, so it kind of washed out. 92 is the record, so we got pretty close to that today, 32 back in 1987. And so far this month, we're already starting out above normal, of course, with temperatures above normal during the day, including the 85 this afternoon. Radar is all clear. We did have that smoke plume earlier around Loma Linda, and that has now been put out, so that's good news. We are watching a storm system over the central Rockies, but it is slowly going to move in our direction. We are going to have a front move through Wednesday, but unfortunately there's not enough moisture to meet up with that front to generate any meaningful rainfall, so it looks like it's going to come through dry for the most part. We're going to have to wait for another storm system before our rain chances start to increase. Temperatures right now, like I said, are generally in the mid-80s still across our area, and the dew points are very low. This is what's contributing to the fire danger. When you have low dew points, warm temperatures, strong winds, which fortunately we don't have right now, and drought conditions, it all spells fire problems. So just be aware of that. If you're driving around, don't be throwing any cigarettes out the window, okay? All right, dew points are in the 30s and 40s across the area. Currently in Joplin, we're 83, feels like 81, dew point at 42, which is pretty dry. And look at the humidity, only 24%. And when you bring that inside and warm it up, the humidity even goes down further. All right, the allergies, not too bad. 5.2 today and 5.1 tomorrow, so at least we have some good news on that front. Temperatures tonight are going to be generally in the 50s as we move into the morning hours, generally around 50 degrees in Pittsburgh and Columbus. Then tomorrow afternoon, increasing clouds, no precipitation expected with highs in the low to mid 80s once again across our area with southeasterly winds. Then as we go through tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, here comes the front up to the north. Notice the model tries to break out some showers, but they would be mainly sprinkles here and there. Don't get too excited. Then the front comes through Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night, but temperatures are really going to be the same behind the front as ahead of it, generally in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. The cold air is going to wait until Friday before it starts to move into our area. Thursday morning lows generally in the 50s. The next 5 days, 84 Tuesday, 83 Wednesday, 81 on Thursday. Then the cold air starts to seep in as we move towards the weekend with 64 and 65 on Friday and Saturday. And then in the extended, we finally start getting some rain chances in here early next week. But we're still going to have to wait and see if it's going to be a big system. But right now, it's not looking too promising at this point.
That's unfortunate, and like you said, just a reminder, we were in a drought, and it's getting worse.
Exactly. So be careful with fires. Probably a good idea to not be doing any outside burning right now.
Sam, thank you as always.
All right,
appreciate
no
it. Hey, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store, also the Google Play Store if you have an Android phone. No matter what, though, all you have to do is search for KOAM Skywatch weather app. You may have heard Garth Brooks performed in the Ozarks this past weekend. Some fans say they had an absolute good time, awesome time, enjoyed the concert. Other fans say no, they want refunds. It's estimated thousands never made inside the venue even because of traffic problems. For them, it was a not so perfect weekend, obviously. On Friday night, as we're seeing right there, witness saw several people walking from the fruit farm parking area. Look at that, in the middle of the road. They crossed Highway 65, walked along Highway 86 to the venue. Now, why are they doing this? Well, because there's no sidewalk. And it was dark, right? So that's adding to the dangerousness of this whole thing. Others decided not to walk, waited hours for a shuttle.
We stood there from, I want to say, 5:15 to about 8:30, and there was still at least 500 to 1,000 people in front of us, and we just realized there was no way we were getting in, so we just gave up and left.
We saw people with walkers, some people in like motorized scooters that just, you almost got stuck in it because you weren't able to navigate it at all.
Fans also reported there was not enough help for those with disabilities. For refunds, if you did go to this concert, try to anyway, for refunds, you can contact Ticketmaster or file a complaint with the Missouri AG's office, Attorney General's office. Bass Pro, which owns the venue, has not commented so far anyway on complaints by concert goers. Still ahead, Missouri Southern's Nick Williams earning conference honors for the second time this season. Also, votes are in for the performance of the week. Danny Terzer caught up with the Frontenac Raiders next.
Pitt State football cracked the top 25 after its Week 2 win over Nebraska Kearney, and the Gorillas have been climbing the national rankings every week since then. Pitt State makes another jump this week, moving from 10 to number 7. Northwest Missouri also improves, coming in at 9, and that sets up a huge top 10 matchup for this Saturday when the Gorillas put their undefeated record on the line, hosting the Bearcats at 2 p.m. The only other MIAA school in the rankings this week is Nebraska Kearney at 24. Missouri Southern's Nick Williams is named the MIAA Special Teams Athlete of the Week. It's the second time the Lions kicker has earned the honor this season. Williams went 3 for 3 in field goals on Saturday against the Gorillas, including that one there, a career best 52-yarder. This week's Performance of the Week goes to the Frontenac Raiders for their big win over Columbus on Friday. The Raiders beat the Titans in Columbus 35-8. Those 35 points scored is a season high for Frontenac. They also forced 4 turnovers in the game. They started strong on defense and rode that momentum for the entire game.
I just thought our confidence kept growing and growing, and we had 2 big interceptions at the end of the half. Got us in great field position to score and get a bigger lead before halftime, and you could feel our energy and excitement from our team I thought it was a great team win, and kids played really hard and well. We didn't play very good against Girard, so coming into that week, we knew we were going to have to step things up, and we did that. Everyone did the job.
Kansas City shined in primetime on Sunday night. The Chiefs dominated the Buccaneers and improved to 3-1. The Chiefs had 417 total yards on offense and scored 41 points. The Tampa Bay defense had allowed just 27 points total this season prior to Sunday. Also, Patrick Mahomes became the fastest player in NFL history to reach 20,000 passing yards. He threw for 249 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Bucs, including this insane play here, lobbing it to Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the end zone.
Just the fact that he knew where he was spinning to was good enough for me. And to be able to get it off and then complete it, and for 25 to get his feet in was good too. I mean, there wasn't a lot of room there. So no, he's had a lot of phenomenal plays, and I always remind the coaches, don't take it for granted, man. That's special. And so you enjoy every one of those, man.
I really love watching Patrick play, and does a great job for that team. And unfortunately, we're on the wrong end of it.
Like Andy Reid was saying, don't take this for granted. This is special for our generation to experience Patrick Mahomes, watching him on television. For many of us, going to games is watching him. Don't take it for granted, because this doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, and you don't have to be a Chiefs fan to appreciate what he does on the football field every week.
Of course. Danny, thank you. We'll be right back. Take time now to honor a member of the Armed Forces. Aaron Van Cleve currently serves in the U.S. Army. His hometown, Pittsburgh. We are proud to thank and salute Private First Class Aaron Van Cleve. He's this evening's 4-State Hero. To learn more about all of our 4-State Heroes, or if you'd like to nominate your own, please do that. You can go ahead and visit our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. All right, here's a look at what's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The death toll in Florida from Hurricane Ian continues to rise. We have the latest. Also, more signs of a housing slowdown nationally, anyway. Lumber prices falling back to pre-COVID levels. And, guys, we're going to have a mystery on our hands here. A mystery critter found in a backyard after Hurricane Ian. Yeah, of course, much more tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I guess you never know what you're going to find in Florida, right? After a hurricane, especially. If you're ever on the go and want to still be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge in the App Store of your choice. Just search for KOAM Plus. Yeah. Reminder here, if you have a furry companion at home, you already know they're part of your family, right? You love them. You want them to be around for as many years as possible. That's why October, where we're in right now, is National Pet Awareness Month, Wellness Month, to promote the importance of pet health and wellness all year long. To break it down for you, listen to this. Dogs and cats age 5 to 7 times faster than people, okay? That means an annual visit to the veterinarian is like us seeing a doctor every 5 to 7 years. So that annual visits for those pets are important. Look at those guys. Come on. They're all cute.
Well, unfortunately, my cat ran away not too long ago.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh,
so
my
we're
goodness.
looking for him. Yeah, it was last week, and so we're looking for him. So if you see him,
yeah, Sam.
All right. Well, anyway, hopefully he's in a great home. But we're having a great forecast, that's for sure, with temperatures in the 80s, and then Friday and Saturday it starts to get cooler around here, and then rain as we head into Sunday and Monday, and next week unsettled with more rain chances. So at least we have that in the forecast.
Danny, final sports.
Webb City softball hosts McDonald County this afternoon. We'll have those highlights at 10.
Sounds good. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you at 9 and 10.